David, let's talk about this. This token has been on an absolute tear. We had Axie Infinity on. We didn't really discuss price at all.
Mm-hmm.
We're just talking number of users. We had them on State of the Nation on Tuesday. But look at their token price, dude.
Yeah, it has. The market cap has just absolutely exploded. What was it right before it jumped? The market cap was $250 million to where it is today at $1.5 billion. It was at $250 million just like, I think, at the end of June. I think if I'm reading that chart. Yeah, at the 27th of June, it was at $250 million. Now it's at $1.5 billion. That is insane growth.
All right, global interest in Bitcoin could be on the decline if Google metrics on searches for the term Bitcoin price are anything to go by. Google uses a scale of 0 to 100 when measuring trending topics. And after seeing that average at around 60 for most of this year based on data for the last 12 months, it has now dropped to 24, a 7-month low. The last spike was on May 19th when China issued a warning against speculative trading in cryptocurrencies. Now, over the past 5 years, the last time we saw a comparable rise and fall was after the 2017 boom, which saw a climb from around $1,000 to almost $19,000. You'll remember over the course of the year, and then that fall of 65% in value between January and February of 2018.
David, this is cool. Brazil SEC has just approved an Ethereum ETF. It's 100% Ethereum. When US SEC, are you going to allow us to have even a Bitcoin ETF? Let's start there.
Mm-hmm.
We're falling behind.
Is the US just going to be the last country to have crypto ETFs in it? Like, I remember asking Hester Peirce when she was on the podcast, like, yo, like the longer and longer, I said, yo, I did not say yo. The longer and longer that the US does not have a Bitcoin ETF or a crypto ETF, the more and more it becomes like a political statement, right? And she completely rejected that premise. But my conspiracy hat is still on. Like, to some degree, like the US is the last country that technically wants crypto ETFs because it subverts the dollar. And they're on the right path to literally becoming the last country with a crypto ETF.
Well, you do have to ask why. And so I don't know what the explanation is. That's one possible explanation, but it is super weird that all of these other countries are getting crypto ETFs and the US doesn't have one.
The US wants the crypto ETF the most, the US populace at least, right? And so like the US regulators are just not responding at all to what the people want. This one's
UniSwap
hot.
V3 on Optimism. We've been waiting for this for months, years even, and now it's here. Uniswap on its own layer 2, and you can actually use it today. In fact, you used it, didn't you?
I've used it, and
How was it?
Positively glorious. Oh,
is this a video of you using it?
This is a video of me using it in real time, by the way. So this is not sped up, and so you can kind of see my mouse, like erratic mouse movements as I'm kind of thinking, like, oh.
No, you're just excited. You can't
I am
control
just
yourself.
excited. That's exactly right. And so I made 5 swaps on Uniswap. I traded like $200 of ETH or $350 of ETH to die, to ETH, to die, to ETH, to die. Wasn't even trying to be fast. I was just doing it just to do it. I made 5 swaps in under like 30 seconds. And that was just me tinkering around, right? And the cool thing is like as soon as I hit confirm, it's done. It's
How much
done.
did it cost?
As well. Okay, so the gas cost to get my Ether into Optimism cost me about $19.
You got to cross the bridge.
Got to cross the bridge.
Get over that.
Cost me $19 at 39 Gwei, I think. So Gwei price, not too high, not too low. Cost me $19.
And that's the most expensive part.
That's the most expensive part. And then each swap cost me like 0.0000 something ETH. So like there was like, I think there were 4 zeros before the first number of ETH transfer fees on Optimism. And so swaps were costing me pennies.
Dino, just stepping back, I'd love to hear you outline the significance of El Salvador adopting Bitcoin as legal tender in your view, because we had Jim Rogers, a legendary commodities investing giant, on earlier today. And he said it's not significant that El Salvador is not a trendsetter that China and the United States are, and the US is skeptical of Bitcoin, whereas China is trying to ban it every year.
Well, look, thank you for having me again. Appreciate being on. El Salvador might not be a trendsetter, but in this instance, being the first country to accept it as legal tender is trend-setting. I think it will be a model for what others do, and I think there'll be a lot of eyes on El Salvador when September 7th comes, and hopefully they hit that date with all their infrastructure to make it work. And I think, though, when it's effective, and I say when because I believe it will be effective, and not everybody will adopt it right away, and your chart showed that there's some skepticism, but people will begin to adopt it in El Salvador, and I think that will become trend-setting. You're already hearing about other countries looking at it and thinking about making it legal tender. So, yes, the US and China are two big countries, two of the biggest in the world, but, the smaller countries adopting this will become trend-setting, I believe.
Nifty Island. What's this?
So Nifty Island is a new game, a game verse is what they're calling it. And it's a place for you to take all your NFTs and put them on your island. So in crypto, we all want to get our islands. Now you can go get your island and you can put all your NFTs there. And so it's a place, it's a virtual world, a metaverse world where you can physically place all of your crazy, awesome NFTs that you want to show off all of your friends. And I think the grand vision is much more grand than that. It goes from there. But the idea is that this is a game, a physical or no, a virtual reality, virtual world where you can come and put all of your NFTs, and so you can go and check out other people's NFTs, go to other people's islands. The vibe I'm getting is kind of like a Second Life type of game where you actually like exist in this virtual world and you can go from place to place, and then you can have your own island with all of your own NFTs.
For about, $200,000, our next guest will sell you a passport to one of 7 nations that do not impose capital gains taxes on cryptocurrency gains. Welcome Katie Unanani, who joins us right now. Katie, welcome to the show. Good to see you. Now, let me get this right. You've got 7 nations, and you can sell me a passport from those 7 nations, and if I've got that passport, I don't have to pay capital gains tax on Bitcoin's gains. Is that right?
Well, it depends where you're coming from. For example, United States has a unique feature to its passport called citizenship-based taxation, which means if United States citizen resides in a foreign country, it will still be necessary to file taxes in the United States.
Right.
I believe it's one reason we've been seeing growth in number of people renouncing their U.S. citizenship.
Okay, well, wait a second.
However,
Katie,
it's right. Those nations.
Well, wait a second. Look, I am an American citizen. I've got an American passport. I live in the United States. If I buy one of your passports from these 7 nations, that doesn't make any difference to me whatsoever. I've still got to pay capital gains taxes on Bitcoin gains, right? I've still got to pay.
If you still reside in the United States,
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So if anybody who buys one of these passports from these 7 nations, they've got to go and live in those 7 nations, haven't they?
Yes, exactly. You would have to become a non-tax resident of the country you're currently a citizen of, which again, it's really hard with the United States. And you don't necessarily need to live in this country. You just need to maintain a non-tax residency status in any of the high tax nations. And then you will be able to take advantage of the tax regime those nations provide.
Okay.
I guess that's interesting. This, I think, is much more product market fit. So Space Jam is getting NFTs. New Space Jam movie coming out. It's going to be accompanied by NFTs. Super cool. I think the meme protocol is involved with this as well. You can claim a free NFT right now. You might just get a legendary LeBron is the tweet heading. Pretty cool. What's happening here?
Yeah, they are launching an official NFT collection for the Space Jam movie, which I didn't even know was getting a sequel. I'm not sure Space Jam needed a sequel, but I guess it's getting it. Hopefully
every 20 years or so,
yeah,
whatever.
I guess so.
30 years.
And so we'll see what's going on with this.
Yeah. All right.
And finally today, the Australian edition of Rolling Stone is set to release the iconic music magazine's first ever NFT. It's also the first time that sales of an NFT will actually count towards the Australian Recording Industry Association's music charts, ranking in this case top albums, as a copy of smash hit artist Tones and I's debut album is actually part of the NFT bundle. The limited edition NFT also includes artwork of the cover of the magazine's March 2020 edition, which features Tones and I and was the first to be published after the Bragg Media relaunched the magazine in Australia.